Good morning and welcome back. It's 7:30 out here. It's nice and cool getting this summer day started. Today we're going to hit 2 easy miles throughout the neighborhood after hitting some stressful 300s the other day. Today's goal is just to keep the heart rate between a specific set number. We're going to make sure that it doesn't get too high. I'm sure just running up some of these hills that it'll naturally go up some, but the goal is to keep the heart rate under a certain number. So we're gonna get out here, we're gonna hit a nice light jog through the neighborhood and get this day started, and then we'll make our way to the baseball facility. Got a couple lessons I gotta give today, and then we will make our way to the gym and hit a nice chest and tricep workout. Having to get some pretty serious stretching in. My legs are absolutely cooked from a day of 300s and doing a leg day yesterday, so my quads and hamstrings are absolutely toasted. Okay, so just a little bit ago I mentioned that I was going to try to keep a heart rate between a specific number or a specific set of numbers. So I'm going to use the MAF formula, so the MAF formula. So this is something that's used to kind of help people train to run longer with a lower heart rate. That way they increase their stamina, they increase their running strength, and it just enables them and allows them to go farther. What you do is you take the number 180 and subtract your age, and then it gives you one specific number. So for me, mine would be 180 minus 29. It puts me at 151. So I'm going to aim to keep my heart rate between 140 and 151 as we make this 2-mile run, and hope to start building up some endurance. May feel like I'm going in slow motion at times, but it's a pretty important step to take when you're trying to build some endurance and some running stamina. Had a bit of a wardrobe malfunction. The shorts I was wearing took off, and well, with my phone in my pocket, pulled them down a little bit, even with them tied. So we got a different pair of shorts on, so we should be ready to go now. wrapped up 2 easy miles. Did my best to stay between 140 and 151. Did a pretty good job for the most part. I will say that I was kind of around 150 and 160 for most of it. Could have just been some of the hills. Could have been just getting back into running. Been lifting for several years, on and off with the running, but really dedicating myself back to running now, so maybe it had a little bit to do with it. But we did have some periods that we were in that 140 to 150, a few periods where we were 150 to 160. But I will say, the way I feel right now versus how I felt the other day when I ran the 2 miles in the neighborhood and just kind of went full send. 1, I'm not breathing as hard. Number 2, my legs aren't nearly as tired. Number 3, my body's not just taxed. So I would highly recommend using that formula when you're just trying to have light runs and you're trying to build up some endurance and stamina. Obviously there's times where you just gotta full send and really push yourself, but after having a pretty heavy, pretty fast-paced 2 mile day and then knocking out 4 300s, it just made sense to do a lighter run today. So knocked out 2 easy miles. Gonna go here in the house. Gonna go up here in the house, make some breakfast, and get this day started. All right, just got in here, just made 4 eggs and some oatmeal. Get a good source of protein and carbs after that 2 mile run right there. About to knock this out. We've got some things to do, and then we will see you whenever I get to the gym. If you're wondering why it looked like I was running so slow in the running portion of the video, understand it was because I was trying to stay within a certain parameters of my heart rate, right? I wanted to stay between 140 and 151, so that required me to slow down and try my best to stay within those parameters. Sure, I could have went out here, strode it out, and ran fairly quickly. I did it the other day, but that wasn't my goal. My goal was to stay within those parameters. That way I could focus on building up that aerobic fitness, right? That's my goal. That's what I'm trying to do. It looks boring, right? Like it does, it looks boring. It looks like you're running in place. It looks very slow. It looks like it takes a while. Really, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't take that much longer than the time it takes to run, whatever you were set out to run anyway. But you have to slow yourself down to stay within that, and you have to control your breathing. It is hard, but you have to slow yourself down to a very, very slow pace. You have to control the breathing until you've built up that aerobic fitness to where you can actually go a little bit faster and pick up the pace, but still keep that heart rate within the parameters that you're shooting for. It's just like anything, right? Like there's success is found in very boring stuff. Whether you play sports, whether you're working on specific drills or skills, sometimes you have to slow down and really hone in on what you're trying to do to create the growth, right? Like that's what we're doing. That's why we run. That's why we lift. That's why we do everything, right? We're trying to create growth. It would be pointless to just go out there and just do stuff and waste time and get nowhere, right? You're putting your body through a lot to get nowhere. So you have to slow down. It takes time. And when you're aiming for growth, you have to set parameters and try to stay within those parameters and watch that very slow growth sort of progress and build up until you can finally pick up the pace. We were trying to stay within those parameters, the numbers that was set. So moving forward, we'll probably have a day where we really stride it out, try to keep a good pace all the time. Probably have a day to where I go to the track, either hit 300s, 800 repeats, things around that, more for speed. And then have a day where we'll come out here, we'll set the heart rate parameters, and we will run at a slow pace to make sure we stay in there. That way we continue to build up that aerobic fitness. Just wanted to briefly talk about that. That way it just didn't look like I was just running in motion or running in place. So just wanted to clear that up. Again, when you have goals and you're trying to accomplish certain things, you have to adjust what you're doing to reach those goals. We just made it to the gym. I'm gonna go in here, do a chest workout with some triceps, and I want to talk about the workout that I'm about to do. Within the last month, I've really transitioned to higher volume workouts. Really trying to create some hypertrophy while also still building up some strength. I know high volume isn't for everyone. It's not the only way to work out. It's not the only technique there is. It's not the only way to approach it. There's many other ways to get in shape. Whether you just do short little circuit workouts, maybe you are somebody that does high volume. Maybe you just aim to get really strong by doing lower sets or high sets with lower reps, right? There's tons of ways to get in shape. I have just really grown attached to this high volume style of working out. I've seen really good results within the last month or so. My strength is still going up. Now it goes up at a slower pace because I'm doing lighter weight to hit those numbers, and understand I'm aiming 10 to 15 reps and on the bigger muscles doing 5 sets, right? So obviously I got to lower the weight a little bit to hit all those reps, but it's about controlling the weight, hitting all those reps, and really breaking down those fibers and trying my best to build muscle. It also helps with some fat loss, right? It's going to get your calories burned up. It's going to help trim you up, right? It's going to get you lean, right? I have become a really big fan of it. So with my workout, like for instance, today, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna hit 3 warm-up sets of 135 just to get my chest going. Anytime you lift, especially when you're doing high volume stuff, you don't wanna go in there, not be loose enough, and then do your first set and then just kind of get this crampy feel and just feel kind of dead for the rest of your set. So I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna hit 135 for 3 sets of 5, just getting the chest feeling the way I want it to. Probably bump up, hit 145 for a few reps, but my 5 sets are going to be at 155. Now, the first 2 sets will be around 15 reps, and then it'll probably drop to around 12 or 13, but my final set will be at a minimum of 10 reps. Now, when I decide to move up, it's based off of how many times I hit the number 15. So if I've done a specific weight and I've done 4 sets and I've hit 15 in all 4, that's usually a sign for me that I need to go up 5 or 10 pounds. And that's really all, like with high volume training, you're only gonna be able to go up 5 to 10-ish pounds each time if you're truly trying to control it and hit those numbers. Then once I get done with bench press, I'll go over and do some upward cable flies. And again, still lower weight, 5 sets, going 10 to 15, and in terms of moving up in weight, I do it the same way I do with the bench press. Then after that, we'll go hit some triceps. Now the triceps, I'm only doing 3 sets because I'm still hitting the same tricep muscle the whole time. I'm not switching to the other muscles of the tricep. I'm just hitting this one muscle. Those are gonna be 3 sets, but I'm still aiming 10 to 15. In reality, I'd like to keep around 12 to 15 reps. Gets a lot of blood to the muscle, get a phenomenal pump. Like you feel good when you walk out of the gym after doing a high volume workout with those smaller muscles like your triceps or your biceps and other muscles like that. I got 3 different lifts. We'll have a cable pull down, there's a dip machine, and then got some single arm cable chops. 3 sets of all of those, really trying to break those muscles down and to create some hypertrophy and build some strength while staying at high volume. Again, it's not the only way to train. There's many other ways to look good, lose weight, be shredded, be jacked, whatever you want. There are plenty of other ways to accomplish that goal. This is just in the last month something that I've grown really attached to. So just kind of wanted to give a rundown of the workout and how I go about it and what I'm doing. And we're going to get in here and we are going to crush this lift. Finished the workout, chest is cooked, triceps are pumping, and that right there is how you crush a lift. We're back at the house wrapping this video up. We've got 2 scoops of raw nutrition protein, dark chocolate. It's the way to go. Had a really good day, knocked out a good 2-mile run at a controlled pace. Got a chest and a tricep workout in, and now we got our protein. It's been a good day. Thank you for watching.